Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Javier with the Real Javier Novoa channel, where we apply the principles of philosophy, spirituality, mysticism, business, on the ground techniques to rapid lifestyle transformation. And today I'm going to be giving you the chief cornerstone, the key, the most essential step, and the step that's going to leak into and permeate every other step. Indeed, it's the habit that you're going to return to again and again, and it indeed is going to carry you across to everything that you want. I'd say carry you to the finish line, but of course, as we know, there's no finish line, because every single desire, once it's fulfilled, it leads to the explosion of a plethora of more desires, which then you will be seeking and you will be aligning to, both spiritually and physically. For as we know, there's no difference between the spiritual and the physical. That's journaling, ladies and gentlemen, and that's right. And here is a cheap, probably about 89 cents, very good notebook that I have hundreds of them, and I have pages and pages and pages of journaling in them. Many things that have changed my life and have changed the game for me. It is a notebook and a journal. So many great figures throughout history have had journals and diaries. Marcus Aurelius, of course. Michelangelo had his famous notebooks, which were filled with models and writings and musings, because these are basically canvases upon which to pour your thoughts, in which to organize your thoughts, and to see how they hold up within a structure. So when you have thoughts and you have random musings, when you have random daydreams or imaginations, sometimes you're not able to connect those because you can't step back and look at the whole tapestry. But when you journal something, when you write something down, and when you draw it, and as we're going to go into in these videos, journaling is not only writing with words, but it is also depicting with symbols, it's depicting with pictures, and it is gathering up all of those disparate pieces and putting them into a structure that you can actually look at before they manifest physically. And some things that are not on the physical but yet are under the surface, you're able to pry under the surface and to look at that which drives the surface. So journaling, ladies and gentlemen, it is probably the most important thing you can do. And for the purposes of this channel, we're journaling for radical lifestyle transformation. And as the great Neville Goddard talked about in his Theory of Constraints and his novel The Goal, this is applied to business, but of course can also branch out and be applied to every area of life, because life and business are very similar. For example, you have to have products, you have to be able to market yourself, you have to be able to make sales, whether that's energetic sales or whether that's financial sales. And you have to be able to keep yourself afloat financially and materially. Of course, when we tap into the spiritual, those resources make it a lot easier and a lot more dynamic than if we were just on the raw and ragged edge of the physical. But these aspects and these questions apply to every aspect of life. So Neville Goddard talked about the fundamental questions are, what do we want to change, and what do we want to change to? And that's what we're going to seek out in our lives. What is it about our lives that we want to change? Sometimes we think that we have an idea of what we want, and we have imaginations, we have musings, we have daydreams, but we haven't organized them enough, and we have not specified them enough to begin to take psychological and physical action on them, and spiritual action. It's fine within the spiritual framework to create generally, because you can have a great life by simply being general. as Vadim Zeland goes into in reality transurfing, you can simply say, you know what, everything is going well, everything is flowing easily into my life, and you're going to be pretty satisfied with the things that are flowing into your life. I think that the people who watch my channel and the people who are involved in this work in radical lifestyle transformation want to be more specific. They want to have their hands in the clay, and they want to actually be in the driver's seat of the specifics of their lives. And so Neville Goddard spoke about on his platform, through his books and speeches, that in order to focus very intensely upon what you want, first of all, you need to know exactly what it is you want. And the way to do that is through journaling. So what we're going to teach you to do is we're going to teach you to ask specific questions. And you'll generate the questions as they come along. But what I want you to do is every single day, start by taking 10 or 15 minutes. I want you to be alone if you can. Get alone. Turn off that phone. Disconnect that internet. Except for our channel. Don't disconnect our channel. But no, seriously speaking, turn everything off after you watch our video. Disconnect the internet. Disconnect everything if you can for at least 15 minutes. Tell your family that you have to retreat into your room. And I want you to become totally present and get into that alpha state. Get into that present state. And just for a moment, I want you to forget all of your surroundings and circumstances. Forget what we call in this channel contests. I want you to forget that. Because you don't have to do this, of course, because you can create from any stance. But the easiest way to get into a state where you can create the most quickly, the most creatively and generatively, and it will seep more into your subconscious is by getting into a state of alpha or zero first, by getting into the unconditioned state first, and then from there create. It was very interesting, the ancient Stoics spoke about this. Epicurus, I believe, in the dialogues. He said that every now and again the Stoic must imagine that the great conflagration has occurred. And the great conflagration in the Stoic tradition is when the entire universe burns up. And indeed, science is now saying that this is going to happen, that eventually everything will go into this burning energy and burn up. And they said, imagine that this happened, and now you are simply Zeus or God, and that you are now contemplating, what should I create, what should I do, what actions should I take, and so on and so forth. Basically contemplating your life from that lofty vantage point of starting from zero. And you can do this vibrationally. You can get in the vibration of zero by getting into alpha. And we have a video on how to get into alpha. There are many techniques, but the easiest and quickest technique is simply becoming totally fixed and attentive in the now. And then what I want you to do is I want you to open your notebook, and I want you to ask yourself the question. And you can write this question so that you can contemplate. I want you to ask yourself, what do I want? And don't think too hard about it. I just want you to start writing. So say I want a house. I want a beautiful partner, let's say. I already have one, but let's say so in case she's watching this, but let's say you want a beautiful partner. You can write that. Let's see, I want $1 million. Let's just say maybe you want $1 billion. But here's the trick though. Once you've written all that out, then I want you to ask, what do I really want? And then start peeling down those layers. So when you say, I want a home, what do I really want? And I want you to ask, what do I really want for every single category that you write. And then for a home, for example, you can say, well, I really want space and comfort and just a clean environment. Write all of these down. I want good scents. I want to be surrounded by nice, interesting people. With a partner, what do I really want? A beautiful partner. Well, I want great relationships. I want intercourse. I want good children. Anything that comes to your mind, write this down. Then what I want you to do after you do all those categories is write again, what do I really want? And you want to do this at least 5 times or more. And you want to keep boiling these down. Of course, these structures I'm offering you, they're basically prompts to get you started. And when you learn these structures and you learn how to do them deliberately, you will be able to free yourself from the structure and simply do freestyle journaling, but you'll have the models in mind so that you can always return to those when you feel you're getting off course. And how do you know you're getting off course? By the emotional feeling of it. Does it feel good that I'm thinking about this? If it feels good, that means it's coming to you naturally and you need to continue down that path. If you feel any nervousness or any lack or any negative emotion, that means that you've gone too specific and you need to take a step back and get more general. And we're going to teach you how to do this in this course. Because basically what you want to do, and we're just at the research phase now, we're not in the nitty-gritty of actually focusing upon what we want to generate it rapidly. We're simply trying to figure out what it is you do want. Because as we were speaking about last night, you don't really know what you want until you've contemplated it. Sometimes we think we want $1 million, but when we dig into what we really want, it's definitely not the money. It's something separate from the money. And then we can actually go into what that is, and then we can start putting together a plan of how to get it and how to bring it to us. Now, as the great Peter Drucker said, a plan in business, and this applies to all of life, falls apart the moment it hits the ground. So we're not making this plan so that we can rigidly stick to it. We're not making this plan so that we can control events and circumstances. We're definitely not making this plan to take us to it physically. Because we know from this course that we attract things into our lives, that we're not to take effort. We make this plan so that we can know what the first step in front of us is, so that we can focus our minds and so that we can turn off the mental chatter that's saying, you can't get to that, or causes us to procrastinate. Well, I'll do it tomorrow. And when you say you'll do it tomorrow, that means you're putting off your future indefinitely. Whereas what I want to teach you to do in this course is to live in your future now. And when you live in it now, the surroundings and the context are going to show themselves to you more rapidly than you think possible. And this has happened in my life already numerous times. So you make a plan in order to be able to shut off your mind so that you can now attract it to you, and you just focus upon what is the next step in front of you. And you open yourself up to serendipity. When you feel inspired to go to the park and it seemingly has no connection to your intention, go to the park. So anyway, this is simply the first step in journaling. I want you to ask yourself what you want, and I want you to get down to some specific descriptions of what you want, as well as an associated emotion or feeling with that. Because what we're going to do is we're going to put these together. We're going to extract the common feeling and common state from those. And then we're going to teach you how to get into the state of that, while at the same time mapping it out and planning it on the ground, so that you have a feeling right now of being carried forward towards your intention. And then you can prove to yourself that that does come from the ether and from the field in ways that you do not expect. And it will always, the proof that it is from God, the proof that it is from the field, is that it comes in a way that you won't expect. And we're going to be releasing a number of videos on journaling. It's going to be the core tool in our arsenal, and we're going to teach you how to do this. And we want you to give your testimonials in the comments. You can also email me at javier_novoii@hotmail.com. I've also started coaching calls. You can email me as well for that, where I will take you through these steps and I will craft an individual program that is suited to your personality and to your needs to rapidly transform your lifestyle. If you want to explore that, email me and we will schedule that. So until very soon, please subscribe and like to our channel. This is Javier with The Real Javier Novo with great love and appreciation. I'll see you very soon.